story veils of kinship.
The rain hammered against the attic window, a relentless, rhythmic drumming that matched the pounding of my own heart. It had been 3 days since the funeral, 3 days since I watched the mahogany casket lower into the damp earth, taking Eleanor, my mother, my anchor, my entire world away from me forever. The house felt too big now. It was a Victorian semi-detached in a quiet suburb, filled with the scent of beeswax and dried lavender, a scent that was distinctly her. But without her humming in the kitchen, without the sound of her knitting needles clicking while we watched old movies, the silence was deafening. I felt like an intruder in my own life. I sat on the dusty floorboards of the attic, surrounded by the debris of a life well lived. Cardboard boxes labeled in her neat, looping cursive, Christmas decor, Serafina's school reports, winter coats. I had come up here looking for documents, insurance papers, the deed to the house, but instead, I found myself paralyzed by the sheer weight of memory. My name is Serafina. I am 38 years old, a freelance graphic designer who thought she knew everything about her history. I thought my life was a straight line drawn clearly from point A to point B. I was wrong. Buried beneath a stack of old quilts, wrapped in a layer of yellowing tissue paper, was a box I had never seen before. It wasn't cardboard like the others. It was a heavy, ornate wooden chest, carved with intricate vines and roses, the varnish dark with age. It looked out of place among the utilitarian storage bins, like an artifact from a different century. My hands trembled as I reached for it. The metal clasp was cold to the touch, sending a shiver up my arm that had nothing to do with the drafty attic air. I hesitated. There is a specific kind of intuition that women possess, a gut feeling that warns us when we are standing on a precipice. I knew with absolute certainty that opening this box would change everything. I clicked the latch. It sprang open with a sharp snap. Inside, there was no money, no jewels, just paper, stacks of envelopes tied together with faded blue ribbon, and on top of them, a photograph. I picked up the photo, bringing it closer to the dim light of the single bulb hanging overhead. It was a black and white picture, dated 1984 on the back. 2 women stood in a garden, laughing. They were dressed in summer frocks, their hair windblown. I gasped, dropping the photo. It fluttered to the floor, landing face up. One of the women was undeniably my mother, Eleanor. She looked younger, vibrant, her smile radiating that warmth I missed so terribly. But the woman standing next to her, it was like looking in a mirror. The second woman had my eyes, my slightly crooked nose, my jawline. The resemblance wasn't just passing, it was visceral, it was terrifying. But it wasn't me. In 1984, I was barely a toddler. This woman was in her 20s. "Who are you?" I whispered to the empty room, my voice cracking. I reached for the letters. The handwriting on the envelopes was frantic, jagged, nothing like my mother's calm script. They were addressed to Eleanor, but the return address was simply Blackwood Manor, Oakhaven. I pulled out the first letter. The paper was brittle, stained with what looked like dried tear tracks. "Dearest Elle, they won't let me keep her. Mother says I am unfit. She says the madness is in my blood, that I will poison the child just by breathing on her. You have to help me. You are the only one she trusts. If you don't take the baby, Beatrice will send her away to the orphanage. Or worse, she'll raise her herself, and we both know what that means. Please, save my little Serafina. Save my daughter. Genevieve." The world tilted on its axis. The air left my lungs in a rush, leaving me dizzy. "Save my little Serafina. Save my daughter." I read it again, and again. The words blurred as tears welled up, hot and stinging. Eleanor wasn't my mother. The woman I had mourned for 3 days, the woman who had bandaged my scraped knees and taught me how to bake sourdough bread, she was my aunt. And my mother, my real mother, was a woman named Genevieve, a woman who had been erased. I sat there for hours as the daylight faded into gray evening, reading every single letter. They painted a picture of a Gothic tragedy, a wealthy, controlling matriarch named Beatrice, a fragile, artistic sister named Genevieve, and Eleanor, the steady, reliable one who had made the ultimate sacrifice, taking her sister's child and running away to give her a normal life, cutting all ties with a toxic family. I felt a cocktail of emotions so potent it made me nauseous. Betrayal? Yes. Eleanor had lied to me every day of my life. But beneath the betrayal was a profound, aching gratitude. She had saved me. But the letters stopped abruptly in 1989. What happened to Genevieve? Was she dead? Was she still at this Blackwood Manor? I stood up, my legs numb from sitting so long. I wiped my face with the back of my sleeve. The grief was still there, but now it was joined by a burning, unyielding purpose. I had to find her. I had to find the woman with my face. The drive to Oakhaven took 5 hours. It was a journey that took me away from the bustling city and deep into the countryside, where the roads narrowed and the trees grew thick and gnarled, their branches interlacing over the asphalt like skeletal fingers. It was late October, and the landscape was a tapestry of russet and gold, dampened by the perpetual English drizzle. My car, a sensible sedan, packed with a week's worth of clothes and the wooden box, felt like a capsule protecting me from the unknown. Oakhaven was less of a town and more of a hamlet lost in time. Stone cottages with thatched roofs clustered around a central square, dominated by an ancient church with a crumbling spire. The atmosphere was heavy, the air smelling of wood smoke and damp earth. I checked into the only inn, the Whispering Willow. The landlady, a plump woman with rosy cheeks named Mrs. Gable, eyed me with blatant curiosity as I signed the guest book. "Here for the scenery, love?" she asked, handing me a heavy iron key. "Not much else to do in Oakhaven this time of year. Most folks go down to the Toast." "I'm looking into some family history," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm looking for the Vane family. Do you know them? They lived, or live, at Blackwood Manor." Mrs. Gable's smile vanished instantly. She pulled her hand back as if I had burned her. The cozy atmosphere of the lobby suddenly felt cold. "The Vanes," she repeated, her tone flat. "We don't see much of them. They keep to themselves. And folks here, well, we return the favor." "Is the manor still occupied?" I pressed, desperation leaking into my voice. "Old Lady Beatrice is still there, far as I know, though she must be ancient by now, never comes down to the village. Listen, dear," she leaned in, lowering her voice. "If you have business there, take my advice, finish it quick and leave. That house, it eats happiness." A chill ran down my spine. And Genevieve? Was there a Genevieve Vane? Mrs. Gable's eyes widened slightly. She looked around the empty lobby before whispering, "The mad one?" "Oh, honey, nobody has seen her in 30 years. People say she died or ran off, but there are stories." "What stories?" "That she never left," Mrs. Gable said ominously. "That she's still up there, walking the halls." I didn't sleep that night. The bed was comfortable, but my mind was a storm. I lay awake, listening to the wind howl outside, clutching the locket I had found at the bottom of the box, a silver oval with the initials GV engraved on it. The next morning, the sky was a bruised purple, threatening a storm. I drank 3 cups of black coffee, put on my warmest coat, and drove toward the outskirts of the village. Blackwood Manor stood on a cliff overlooking a gray, churning lake. It was magnificent and terrifying, a sprawling estate of dark stone with high turrets and ivy that seemed to be strangling the walls rather than decorating them. An iron gate barred the driveway, rusted and imposing. I parked the car and walked to the intercom box. It looked ancient. I pressed the button, holding my breath. Static crackled. Then a harsh, metallic voice. "Deliveries to the rear entrance." "I'm not a delivery," I said, surprised by the strength in my own voice. "My name is Serafina. I am Eleanor Vane's daughter. I need to speak to Beatrice." Silence. A long, stretching silence that lasted so long I thought they had cut the connection. Then, a buzz. The heavy gates groaned and slowly swung inward. The driveway was long, winding through overgrown gardens that must have once been beautiful, but were now wild and thorny. As I approached the main house, the massive oak front doors opened. Standing there was not a servant, but a woman. She was tall, incredibly thin, leaning on a silver-tipped cane. Her hair was white as snow, pulled back into a severe bun. She wore a high-collared black dress that looked like it belonged in the 19th century. Beatrice Vane, my grandmother. I stepped out of the car, the gravel crunching loudly under my boots. I walked up the stone steps, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. She watched me approach with eyes that were cold, hard chips of flint. She didn't smile. She didn't blink. "So," she said, her voice dry as parchment, "Eleanor is dead, I assume. She would never have let you come here otherwise." "She died 3 days ago," I said. I refused to be intimidated, though every instinct screamed at me to run. I found the letters. Beatrice's expression didn't change, but her grip on the cane tightened until her knuckles turned white. "And what do you want, girl? Money? The estate?" "I want the truth," I said. "I want to know about Genevieve." Beatrice let out a sharp, cruel laugh. "Genevieve? That name hasn't been spoken in this house for decades. You are wasting your time. Go back to your little life, Serafina. You don't belong here." "I am her daughter." I stepped closer, challenging her. "And I have a right to know. Is she dead?" Beatrice stared at me, searching my face. For a fleeting second, I saw something flicker in her eyes. Pain? Regret? But it was gone instantly, replaced by that icy wall. "She is gone," Beatrice said firmly. "She was sick in the head, unstable, dangerous. Eleanor stole you to protect you, or so she thought. But blood tells, girl. Blood always tells." She turned to go back inside. "Leave, now." "No," I shouted. "I'm not leaving until I see proof. Mrs. Gable at the inn said people think she's still here." Beatrice stopped. She turned slowly, her face twisting into a sneer. "The village gossip? You listen to peasants? Fine. You want to see? Come in, but don't say I didn't warn you." I followed her into the house. The interior was freezing. It smelled of dust, old wax, and something medicinal. The furniture was covered in white sheets, like ghosts in the gloom. We walked in silence through long, shadowed corridors. Portraits of stern ancestors glared down from the walls, men with mutton chops and women with tight lips. I looked for her face, Genevieve's, but there were no photos of her. It was as if she had been scrubbed from existence. Beatrice led me to a heavy wooden door at the end of the east wing. She unlocked it with a key from a ring at her waist. The East Wing was her sanctuary, Beatrice said, her voice devoid of emotion, and her prison. She pushed the door open. The room beyond was shocking. Unlike the dark, oppressive rest of the house, this room was flooded with light from large bay windows. It was a studio. Canvases were stacked everywhere. The smell of turpentine and oil paint was overwhelming. And sitting by the window in a rocking chair was a woman. She was facing away from us, looking out at the stormy lake. Her hair was gray now, long and tangled, cascading down her back. She was humming a soft, discordant tune. "Genevieve," Beatrice said sharply, "you have a visitor." The woman stopped humming. She turned slowly. My breath caught in my throat. It was her, the woman from the photo, aged by 30 years. Her face was lined, her skin pale and papery, but the eyes, those violet blue eyes, were identical to mine. She looked at me, her gaze vacant at first. Then she blinked. She tilted her head. "Eleanor?" she whispered, her voice raspy from disuse. "You came back?" I stepped forward, tears streaming down my face. "No, I'm Serafina." Genevieve's eyes widened. She stood up, her movements shaky. She wore a stained painter's smock over a nightgown. She stumbled toward me, reaching out a trembling hand. "Serafina?" she breathed. My baby?" "Don't touch her," Beatrice snapped from the doorway. "She's confused, Serafina. She doesn't know what she's saying. She has the mind of a child." "Shut up!" I whipped around, screaming at the old woman. The anger that had been simmering inside me exploded. "Just shut up! You kept her here? All these years? You told everyone she was gone?" "She is sick," Beatrice hissed, banging her cane on the floor. "She was in a profound crisis of despair the day you were born. She was not capable of safely caring for herself or a child. I did what was necessary to protect the family name." "You did it to control her," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "You locked her away because she didn't fit your mold." I turned back to Genevieve. She was trembling, looking between me and Beatrice with terrified eyes. "It's okay," I said softly, stepping closer. "I'm here. I'm real." Genevieve reached out and touched my cheek. Her fingers were cold, calloused from paint. "You have Eleanor's chin," she murmured, a sad smile touching her lips. "But my eyes, oh God, my eyes." She collapsed into my arms, sobbing. I held her, this stranger, this mother, and felt a piece of my soul snap into place. She smelled of oil paint and stale lavender. She felt frail, like a bird with hollow bones. "I wrote to you," she sobbed into my shoulder. "Every day. I wrote letters. Beatrice said she sent them. She said you didn't want to know me. She said you hated me." I looked up at Beatrice over Genevieve's shoulder. The old woman stood rigid, but her face had lost some of its color. "You monster," I whispered. "I protected her," Beatrice's voice cracked, losing its imperious edge. "She couldn't handle the world, and the world would have destroyed her. Eleanor was weak. She ran away. I stayed. I bore the burden." "You created the burden," I said, "and now it's over." I spent the next 3 hours in that room. Beatrice retreated, defeated, retreating into the shadows of her mansion. I sat with Genevieve, my mother, and we talked. It wasn't a fairy tale. Her mind was indeed fragile. She drifted in and out of the present, sometimes thinking,